Okay. Okay, let me make this full screen if I can. Can I make this full screen? Okay, maybe not. Look at my very sexy, empty apartment with holes in the wall. Yes, yes. All of my bags here. Very nomadic, very nomadic. So today's performance we call Man Go Crazy. Man go crazy because he know who the fuck he is and his mind dissolve and he feel like what the fuck is reality? So he just express in the moment and everything is crazy. He don't know who he is. And man also work through shame, deep shame. Can man forgive himself? Can man forgive himself for feeling so disconnected from self, for hiding like a child, for being a 34-year-old man that has been afraid to ground and to pick a path and to use his strength? And so he tries to continue to play small, to hide. But this does not work anymore because the universe, the little loving universe goes, okay, here's Kai trying to play small, very small. Let me see if I have something to represent this. Here is a winner. So little Kai playing small and the universe goes, bye-bye, Kai, bye-bye. You must learn to fly with your little wiener feet, and then, yes, and then you will fly. And then today was a day of insanity. I wake up, I'm in a new place. I might be living here for a month because I have the finances to do so. But then my soul goes, oh no, but I only feel alive when I'm exploring in the unknown. And so grounding somewhere feels very boring, very constricting. But then there's also something very, very, very scary about grounding. Because if I ground, I fully get into my body. That means I have more responsibility. I need to feel these things like this grief, this loneliness that is rising up in my chest, the shame, the self-judgment, the judgment of how tired I look and I talk like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I just have all this expression inside of me and I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to be a human being on this planet. I am just this alien, this weirdo. And so how do I exist? I do not know how to be human. I have created these powerful defense mechanisms where someone comes up to me, my body braces, and I immediately go into the Italian and I know how to please them. And I say, oh, what do you need? What do you need? Let me bow down to you. Let me give you exactly what you need because then I will be safe. Let me energetically suck your dick because then you will be okay. You will feel that I am giving you energetic fellatio and it will feel very good. And so this is often how I go about my days. I wander, I feel very scared. I connect to people because I am genuine, compassionate, joyful human being. Today I did help two ladies outside the grocery store. They had a sign that said they needed food. And I said, do you want money or do you want food? They said, solo habla español. I said, sí, yo hablo un poquito español. So we had a conversation in Espanol and I found out they wanted grapes. No manzanas, no apples, but grapes. So I bought them some grapes because I've been blessed to have food stamps from when I lived in Hawaii. Somehow they still send me $540 every month for food, even though I've been gone now 8 months. They keep upping my food stamps. And so part of me feels guilty, but part of me is grateful and part of me wants to give back. So this felt very good. This felt very good to help another asking for food. And it felt fun to speak in English, in Spanish. And, I said, ten un buen día, have a good day. And they said, igualmente, you too. And it was very nice. Spanish is a very loving language. And it's funny because in this moment when I'm speaking this way, I am totally fine. I am not scared of anything. There are no thoughts in my head of, okay, what to do next? Oh my God, what are you going to do tomorrow? How are you going to make a career for yourself? How are you going to take care of yourself? How are you going to work through the shame? How are you going to balance these two polarities inside of you, where the one part of you feels like Gollum, you feel like the biggest piece of shit on this planet, and you just want to curl up in a ball and die and have someone shovel dirt over you and go into a corner. And then the other part of you, you know this part of you, you know damn right that there is this sexy, this beautiful man, this Cupid, this Kai Eros who loved and is sensual and sexy and compassionate, that he grieves and he cries and he loves and he sees and he loves so much and he has so much to give and to express, but how? And the answer is to just live, to just be as present as possible without inhibition, because there is nothing wrong. So what if I'm sitting in a fairly empty room and I don't know if I'm going to stay here for a month or not? So what if I feel called to go to Colorado or Hawaii? So what if I feel insane? So what if I feel scattered? Can that be okay? So what if I feel all these visions of performing on stage and doing comedy, but I feel so afraid in my nervous system? Can I just trust that where I am right now is perfect, because I can never be out of flow with the divine, because the divine is always flowing through me? And the only way to fail would be to, in my estimation, to kill myself. And I do not want to do that. I have felt that many times in the last 15 months, this desire to end my experience, because being this alive is very intense. There's always something coming in. There's always a thought or a sensation or something. And I'm realizing more and more, I want to be alone. I want to be alone. But then the people-pleasing pattern comes in, and I always want to connect to other people and find out how they are doing. And I know that some of that comes from a genuine compassion, because I have a big heart and I genuinely care for the well-being of others. But what about the well-being of this beautiful heart? This beautiful heart that just wants to be free to express, to give people a permission slip to be a weirdo. I want to bring this raw authenticity out into the world. But I am proud of myself, because I never would have allowed this before. Even I remember this woman I follow. Her name is Aliyah. Her channel is called The Perception Trainers. And she has this channel, and she talks about how, we feel a certain part of ourselves we have not felt safe to express. So we need to create safety to express it. And sometimes even when we are alone, we don't feel safe. So I am happy that I am allowing myself to express, because this part of me, I never felt safe to express. This is too weird. My nervous system would say, oh, you can't do this. You must stay this. You must be normal. You must be a normal human. You must be normal. You must be normal. Okay. Isn't it? Isn't it? You must be normal. Yes. And so then I go, okay, this feels really good now, but what about tomorrow? What about the 3D world, where, money still matters and living situation matters, and I have to feed my body and I have to take care of my body, and I want to make my body very sexy. If you ask me what the desires are, they're to be very sexy man, because I know I can be very sexy man, which is ironic, because when I was a child, I was bullied quite a bit for my eyes. They are very narrow. They're very circular, beady, close together, and they're very deep. See, they go deep. And so I was called Cyclops by many people. And I just took it, because my pattern was to take it. So people would call me names, and I would go, he. And I would laugh it off, and I would say, oh, it's okay, it's so funny, ha, ha, ha. And then I just took it in, and took it in, and took it in, and took it in, and it hurt like a motherfucker. It hurt like a motherfucker. And I'm really feeling that. To feel like I do not belong, like I am a freak. But I'm realizing I'm meant to be a freak, and to embrace being a freak. because in embracing being a freak, I am free. And I'm also realizing that just because I feel like a unique freak does not mean that I'm alone, because there are others like me. Not like me as in not the same as me, but just as weird and just as divergent as me. They call it soul tribe. Soul tribe. And the more I read an amazing quote recently that said, if you do not howl like a wolf, if you do not howl, you cannot find your tribe. And so, even though this video will be shared on my page, and it might not be, howled out to the universe, there is an energetic howling that is happening. And there is an alchemy happening by me expressing this weirdness, this authenticity, this playfulness out into the world. And so in that, I am weaving like a magician. I am calling in all these experiences that are for me, because I am choosing. This is self-love. This is saying, hey, Kai, it's okay to do this. This is your natural expressor. You are a crazy little jester. The jester is very much a part of my personality. Even my backpack here, it literally says the jester. Look at this. It's the you can't see, but on the bottom it says jester. And I had a recent hypnosis session done, and we went into one of my past lives, and I was a jester. I was wearing the curly shoes of a jester, and I went on stage, and I had stage fright, and I had anxiety, and I had panic, and I freaked out. I wasn't able to entertain the people. I froze up, and then I went home and I hung myself. And so, oh shit, I am carrying some of that karma in this lifetime, both the gifts and both the dark sides of the gifts of being this jester, this very expressive, free, jovial, authentic human being. And then also the darkness of, I felt very alone. So alone that I killed myself. And I was shown memories from that past life where I was dancing very free as a child, very in my feminine energy, because dance is feminine. Dance is very feminine. It's very feminine. I have very strong feminine. Been very repressed by the culture, very repressed. They call you faggot, you gay, you pussy, you soft, you weak. So now is the time to reclaim the feminine, reclaim the weirdness. And so, with my little weenie here, I lost train of thought. I was talking about past life. And past life, I also saw a picture of my father. I dance, and my father, he take apple, he bite it, and he chuck it, and it hit me right in shoulder, and I go, oh. I hurt very much hurt. And it was very traumatic. I say it in jokey way, but I learned to integrate the joke with the trauma, because that is very healing. Because life no need to be so serious all the time. That is my path, to take the darkness and add it and sprinkle in some joy and some lightness and some weirdness and some levity. All is okay, It's okay to be fucking crazy. It's okay to experience pain. It's okay to experience grief. And I'm still learning. There's a lot of grief in here that I have not felt yet, and that scares me, and that's okay. I pray for support. I have support. I have session tomorrow. I continue to move through. And also another memory from this past life. I was dancing again. I was outside my cabin. This was in the Middle Ages. I was wearing my jester's outfit, and then these neighborhood boys. I was a teen. This memory. These neighborhood boys, they came by, and they called me a faggot, and they told me to stop dancing, and they came up to me and they beat me up. They beat me so much that I was bleeding everywhere. My face was inflamed, and I was left in the fetal position on the ground, crying. And no one came for me. And that reminds me of a quote I just came across by Gabor Mate, where he said, childhood trauma, a child is not traumatized because they get hurt. A child is traumatized because they get hurt and they are alone. They are alone in their hurt. And that makes me want to cry because I think of all the times I was bullied as a child and I was not helped by anyone, not by teacher, not by parent, not by friend. And so I internalized the pain. I did not express too much. I mostly took it in as shame or something's wrong with me because people are mean to me. I am broken, I am flawed. And sometimes those voices get so loud that they tell me to kill myself because you do not belong here. You do not belong on this planet. You are a freak. You don't know how to live here. You don't know how to fit in. You don't know how to do regular basic human stuff. You have a hard time sometimes just preparing food, just taking care of yourself. You do not belong here. And then I learned from a dear friend recently, two dear friends recently, something that has helped me immensely. In indigenous cultures, when someone was going through a spiritual crisis, a spiritual awakening, a spiritual transformation like this, and many of us are going through this, but let's keep it on myself. I often do that. I often generalize things to avoid my own experience and to try to resonate with everyone, but let's keep it on me. So if someone was going through a spiritual crisis, which I have been going through for the last 15 months, they would often be surrounded by the tribe. The tribe would take care of this person because they would understand that they are not broken. They do not have psychiatric illness. They are not bipolar. They're not schizophrenic. They are awakening to a new way of reality beyond the program, the limitations of the mind. And so the sensitivity is very overwhelming and they need time to integrate and to learn tools and modalities and ways of being so that they can be more stable in the world. And the tribe, I learned that the tribe would actually take care of this person. They would take care of their survival needs so that they could focus their energy on their process. They didn't need to worry about money or food because people would provide and say, just go to your process, you are helped. And I get emotional thinking about that because I know that one day I want to do that for other people. I want to help other people because I don't want people to have to go through my experience. The last 15 months has been the most insane experience of my life. If someone looked into my brain, I don't know what they would think, but it is very, very crazy in there. Very, very crazy in there. And I suppose it's always been very crazy. It's just been deep down in the shadow behind people pleasing. Because I struggled my whole life until COVID, when I really started to wake up. I was always unhappy. I was people pleasing. I was addicted to, stimulation and cannabis and pornography, but I didn't see it. I was like, oh, this is just who I am. I'm unhappy. I'm in turmoil, but there wasn't an awareness of why or what's going on. And so this path is crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. But what if a person can be radically authentic all the time? Is that possible? I saw someone share something from Envision Fest, which was in Costa Rica. And there was this very inspiring man speaking. He was on stage. He was a black man. He had these beautiful golden earrings. And he said, I will not code shift. I will not trade my authenticity for attachment. And I was very triggered, but I was very inspired by this man's potency. Because that is the journey, is learning what part of me I gave away for attachment. The great Gabor Mate, whom I mentioned, he talks about attachment will always trump authenticity, especially in our formative years. So if my authentic expression is a certain way, is very, very different, very weird, very, very sexual, very sensual, very raw, very vulgar, a lot of talks of dicks and fart jokes and burping and all the vulgarities, all the stuff that's shameful, tackling all the sacred cow topics, talking about, I don't know, pedophiles or incest or all the things that people don't want to talk about because they're scared. But I want to talk about it all. And that is my vision. I really want to start having these conversations with people. If you resonate, maybe you'll be first person on my podcast as I start to drool. My podcast be called Getting Naked with Kai. And the image is we're not necessarily naked, as in we're not completely naked unless you want to be. But we record episodes where it looks like we are naked at least. And for the ladies, you can keep the camera here so your nipples do not show. But I envision a world, and the world that I am creating, starting with myself, without masks, where we are naked. We are naked because masks are killing me. The masks that I wear are suffocating me to death. To death! And I read a quote by James Baldwin the other day, and he said something about, I can no longer keep wearing these masks, but I also can't envision a world without the masks. And that's this turmoil, is like how to let go of the masks, but also how to keep boundaries and stay safe. And how the fuck is this possible? Often I feel so crazy, like at any moment I could, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not manifesting that reality. I was going to say I could kill myself, but no, I'm not kill myself. I'm way too curious. And I also know that my dance with the madness, my dance with the turmoil, my desire to be free, and then also the terror of being free and the being afraid of being judged as a fucking crazy, weird guy who's lost it. It's purposeful because I know there are many like me, not like me exactly, but many who feel the desire to be free, who feel crazy, who are maybe medicated. But they know deep down, I think a lot of us know deep down that we are not crazy. And maybe that's what's so scary. The knowing that we are actually not crazy. Because being written off as crazy is okay, it's safe. If I tell myself I'm crazy, then it's just like, okay, I'm crazy, I'm broken, I'm fucked up, put me in a group home, I can't take care of myself ever. I can stay in this safety of the victim. I'm crazy, I'm broken, bipolar, schizophrenic, manic, depressive, all these things. But no. And it's funny because last night I saw the speaker, Marianne Williamson, and she spoke. And one of her quotes is my favorite quote of all time, where she says, she did not mention this last night. It was very political. I was kind of disappointed. But it remains that one of the things I love most about what she has shared is this quote, which is, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. It is not that we are inadequate. It is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, to be powerful, to shine? And then she says, who are you not to be? You are a child of God, meant to shine as children do. And your playing small does not serve the world. Dimming your light so others don't feel insecure in your presence does not serve. And so I know this. And I cannot pretend that I don't know this. I've pretended for a long time to plead ignorance and say, oh, I'm broken. Oh, I'm shameful. Oh. And I forgive myself because it's safe. It's safe. It's a survival mechanism trying to be safe, but safety doesn't feel so safe anymore anyways. Safety feels like wearing a straitjacket filled with spikes. It just fucking hurts now. It's like all there is to do is to keep going. So here I am. This will be the second video that I post live on the not live, but I post on my channel as part of the Dark Lightning Mastermind. I highly recommend this to others of these crazy vein that I am cut from, the crazy cloth. Reach out to me. My beautiful friend Joshua is the facilitator, and there are many other beautiful souls in this group. You are not broken. I am not broken. We will figure it out. We will alchemize the shadows. We are here to thrive. We are here to thrive, and I hold that belief that we are not here to suffer. To be put here to suffer would make no sense. Why would we be incarnated to suffer? No. Now, temporary suffering to teach us things. Yes. Suffering forever, medication forever. No, no. No, no. And so I think I leave with that. I leave with the hope that this expression is very healing for myself in ways that I cannot see. I had no intention of doing it in this accent, but it just happened that the entire thing is mostly in this accent. That did a little Arnold. Yeah. Get down to the bomb. Get out of the... Just let myself be a fucking weirdo. I've been so afraid to be a weirdo. Oh my God. And so my vision is to eventually take this level of authenticity onto a stage and make it a vocation and assist others in connecting to their authenticity. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's either going to happen or I'm going to kill myself. And the latter no longer feels right. It's like, why? It'd be a waste of a life. It would cause so much pain and suffering to family and friends. And I believe that I'd be reincarnated with even more challenge next time. So it's like, all right, I guess I get to lean in to being crazy and learn to love myself. And what's cool is I noticed that by staring at myself for this long, I'm seeing my face warp, like shapeshift. I always shapeshift. And shapeshifting isn't wrong. It's a gift because I can essentially be love in each moment, be authenticity in each moment. But I notice I'm able to love myself more. I'm able to love this dark circle under my eyes. I'm able to love the blah, 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 blah. The parts of me that are imperfect. I was watching a video today and it was about empaths and narcissists, and those terms are thrown around like fucking candy in the spiritual community. But it said something about how there are 4 qualities of operating from a wounded child space. People pleasing, black and white thinking, perfectionism, and I don't fucking remember the 4th one. But the perfectionism, I've been there so much. Unless I am perfect, this was me really starting in high school. Unless I have an 8-pack, and I started working out junior year, I was like, all right. I remember I did P90X, and I would look in the mirror and be like, ah, ah, ah. Oh yeah, this is another reminder that I'm going to sit with Combo soon. It's been a while. It keeps calling to me. I would literally only allow myself to be seen if I had like a fucking, like perfect abs, right? Like this would not have cut it. I mean, I got like all these, some of this like, I don't know. I got all these like skin markings and all these things. This would not have cut it. And even when I had the perfect physique, like when I was 18, by 18 to 25, I was really shredded. And yeah, I had an 8-pack and I was wearing the tight shirts and had the perfect hair. But I was so fucking insecure. And it's funny because I would guess that most people saw right through me. I thought I was so cool, but people saw how uptight I was, how try-hard I was, how much of a tool I was. And so I forgive myself for that because I was afraid. I didn't know who to be. I didn't know how to be. If you're sent to an alien planet, you do the best you can to assimilate for safety. And now that I've seen through that, and I'm realizing that I don't need to do that, the next chapter is, okay, I don't need to assimilate, or I don't need to fit in anymore. Ironically, by being myself, I will belong. Brene Brown talks about that. But how can I individuate? Because I've gotten so enmeshed in culture and in people pleasing and in, absorbing teachings of other people. Ooh, I was just looking at my arm vein. Faggot. I'm going to get an owl tattoo right here, I believe, very soon. So, can it be all okay? Can I allow myself to feel like a complete shit show who's lost in chaos all the time, who's terrified of responsibility, who people pleases, who gives his power away, who represses his anger, who doesn't always honor his boundaries? Can I just allow myself to be a fucking mess? I don't feel like I've ever fully allowed myself to be really unhinged. And so what would that look like to be unhinged? Does that mean I need to wander in the streets naked on psychedelics? I've had that thought. But that would still be kind of reactionary because I would be trying to show how unhinged I am. I'd be like, hey, look at me, I'm crazy. It would still be coming from a performative space. Can I just let myself fucking be? It's insane how challenging it could be to just like be here in this moment as it is. And yet, that's all that life ever is. And so, why go on? Why live? 1, curiosity. 2, because there's a divine reason beyond what I know. I know that every interaction I have throughout the day, every message I send, everything matters. You could argue that nothing matters, but I like to think that everything matters. Every smile, even if it's coming from a people-pleasing place, a smile still feels fucking good. Walking past a stranger and genuinely smiling at them, shit like that gets my dick hard. So I will continue to ask myself, what gets my dick hard? Do I enjoy having sex with women? Yeah. Do I enjoy witnessing the beauty of the feminine physique? Yeah. I actually, it's been a few weeks. I noticed I tried to say that to sound cool. Like, oh, it's only been a few weeks since I've had sex. Oh, yeah, it's just the women are just coming to me. Sure, I've had 3 partners in the last, 8 months. And before then, I had like 2 in like fucking 5 years. It's been a challenge. But what I was going to say is something that I don't remember. Something about sexuality. Oh, what gets my dick hard? The feminine. The feminine gets my dick hard, but it's the feminine body. Oh my God, like giving a woman a massage. Witnessing a woman dancing freely. Ugh. Nature. Ugh. A sunset. Ugh. Art. Music. And art can be anything, really. Like hearing someone's voice, just the way that someone talks. Like I love my own femininity. The way that I talk, I fucking love the way that I talk. I think I have a sexy, amazingly resonant, beautiful voice. And I sing sometimes. And the last partner I was with, we were cuddling and I was singing, and it was like I could have died in that moment. She's like, "Oh my God, you have a beautiful voice. Can you sing for me?" And I was like, "Yeah." So can I fall in love with what gets my dick hard, which is the feminine? And it doesn't have to be the external feminine. It could be my own feminine. My own beauty. My own writing. That's how I write. My own singing. My own speaking. My own dancing. My own moving. My own self-touch. Can I attune to this frequency of heaven, which is always available? Always. I want to make sure I don't grab my nips. Can I just fucking let it ride? That's what I've been realizing. I've been so afraid to live. I haven't lived. That's not true. I've lived, especially the last 3 years, I've lived a lot of fucking experiences. But that's the pattern that I'm unwinding, is being afraid to really launch out into life, like to really let go of what I thought safety was, which was people pleasing, hiding, avoiding, numbing, and to continue to lean into the discomfort of the process of individuation and finding my own voice, because I know that the more I feel like I have my back, God has my back, life can become absolutely magical. And I've been experiencing so much magic, and that's what keeps me going. Is, look at this little rabbit. Look at this little rabbit. You can actually stick something up his ass. It's like a puppet. Oh, hello. That's what keeps me going, is knowing that there is magic here. And I'm not in this. I've moved from where I was about a year ago, which was like suicidal, deep apathetic depression and despair, and feeling like I had no purpose and no agency and nothing was possible. Now I'm in the space of like, okay, there's dreams that I see and there's pieces. I don't know how they're going to come together, but I'm just going to keep going. And it's more of this like anger of like, I want it to fucking happen. And when I get into these really dark spaces, it's not out of apathy or depression. It's more existential frustration at my own fears and feeling like I'm trapped by my own fears. And so this rabbit is saying, yes, you can work through your fears. You can work through your fear of judgment. You're doing it right now because you're going to post this video, which is really fucking cool. A lot of people wouldn't be able to do this. And I don't necessarily want to compare myself to other people, but I know that a past version of Kai wouldn't have ever done anything this radically authentic and then posted it. And so maybe I just get to let it unfold and let parts of myself be seen that I've been so afraid to show to the world. Like today, my wandering the city and having a great time, but also feeling terrified and uncertain, and noticing my body brace, and coming back here where I'm staying at least for one more night. Ooh, it's 5:55. And feeling so much shame or confusion, and then watching porn for the first time. I had all this sexual energy, and I was like, what do I do with it? What do I do with this sexual energy? And so I went to what I've done in the past, and I was also feeling really heavy emotionally, and I didn't want to feel, so pulled up the old xvideos.com and blew a load. And can that be okay, Mr. Rabbit? Yes, that's okay. Is everything okay? Is everything okay, Mr. Rabbit? Everything's okay. It's funny, my birth name is Jeff, and now I'm thinking of Jeff Dunham, and he does his puppet, like, ventriloquist. This is cool because I think doing these videos is helping me find, like, what I actually enjoy in terms of expression. And maybe the joy will be having no plan and just going up on stage. But maybe it will involve like puppets. But I enjoy when I'm in an improvisational mode with life. I feel most alive when I'm improving life. But to the mind, that feels terrifying. It's like, okay, well, you have no plan. You're just improving. And it's like, yeah, you are. We all are to some degree. We think we have security. We've been told we have security, we have insurance, we have housing, we have jobs. But theoretically, everything is always unknown. And those of us who are more lucid just realize this. And then we have to integrate it and understand how to be with it. Take responsibility after decades and maybe lifetimes of not taking responsibility and running away and being drug addicts and being compassionate for that part. Being compassionate, yet also coming back to a sense of strength and responsibility. And so in this moment, I'm grateful. I'm clear. I'm alive. I'm also confused as fuck, especially around my next living situation. Will I live here for a month? Will I not? I don't know. Will I go to Colorado to this retreat center that calls to me? I don't know. We shall see. Will I manifest the van? Because that has been calling to me. I would love to have a van and then to spend a lot of my time creating videos like this, where I'm just being authentic and maybe dancing and exploring nature and interviewing people on the street. That sounds really fun to me, doing the podcast. I have all these creative ideas. Interviewing people on the street as well as the podcast, those both sound really fun. Like stopping people and pattern interrupting them on the street and being like, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Yeah, Bunny agrees that's a good idea. And so now what I want to do is stay in my own energy. My challenge has been I often get thrown out of my own energy and I get scattered and overwhelmed. And then when I'm overwhelmed, I just numb out. And it's this pattern of like, I'm taking on everyone's energy. Oh my God, I'm in chaos. What do? Let me take a benzo. Let me go eat. Let me go on social media so I can get more chaotic. So learning to be with myself, and I think that there's some grief that gets to be processed. And I have a session tomorrow with someone. This shit's fucking crazy, man. I noticed now that I'm feeling very emotionally vulnerable, I want to get off the call. What is it that I don't want to be witnessed in? It's almost like when I feel dysregulated, because I can feel my heart pounding, I can feel that I'm starting to sweat a little bit. Maybe I'm judging my appearance more. I'm like, look at this double chin. That's when I want to not be seen. And so if I were to hop off right now, it would be telling myself that those parts are not worthy to be seen and that I need to be polished. And so much of our world is about being polished. And like that perfectionism program has kept me very trapped, feeling like I need to be freaking perfect. I believe in the power of prayer and of, I don't know if you could see it, it says weenie. I believe in the power of the weenie. And what I am calling in for myself is a deeper sense of grounding and stability and peace. A physical, emotional, spiritual sense of grounding so that I can focus on creating what I want to create, such as this podcast. Just really a space to allow myself to creatively explore. So some way to have my financial needs taken care of so that I can almost live like today. Like I really like just fucking exploring. As much as it's scary, it's also really exciting to not have a plan. Because there's like, like a child in a sandbox. Like, okay, what do I want to do today? Do I want to play with my weenie? Do I want to lay in bed all day, watch Netflix? That's actually not something I even do. I haven't watched anything in a long time. I might watch Dune tonight, illegally. I simultaneously have a hard time relaxing But then I feel like I relax too much because I'm not really relaxing. I'm just kind of checking out. But I would love to like eat some good fucking food because I just went grocery shopping and watch a movie and just like enjoy the fuck out of the movie. Fully enjoy it. Be fully in the experience. All right. We're going to say bye from Bilbo the bunny. Bilbo, who's got a dildo up his ass. And then Weenie the weenie. Good day, fellow weirdo aliens. Until we connect again.